The doctor asked him one simple question. "What happened to your wife?" The man smiled. "She's waiting for me at home." The room fell silent because everyone in that room knew something he didn't. His wife had died 2 years earlier. He wasn't pretending. He wasn't joking. He wasn't lying. He genuinely believed she was still alive. The doctors showed him photographs, death certificates, hospital records, family testimony. Nothing changed his mind. The evidence was undeniable, yet inside his mind, none of it had ever happened. This wasn't a movie, it wasn't a novel, and it wasn't an urban legend. Cases like this have appeared in psychiatric literature for decades. To protect patients' privacy, many of their identities were never revealed, but their stories forced psychologists to confront one terrifying question. How far will the human mind go to protect itself from unbearable pain? Every second, your brain makes thousands of decisions without asking your permission. What deserves your attention? What should be ignored? Which memories matter? Which emotions become stronger? Most of the time, it gets those decisions right. But sometimes, reality presents something the mind simply cannot survive. A devastating loss, an unbearable trauma, a truth so painful that accepting it could completely destroy the person experiencing it. And when that happens, the brain doesn't always fight reality. Sometimes, it quietly begins changing it. Not because it's broken, but because survival has always been the brain's highest priority. Not happiness, not success, not even truth. Survival. Psychologists call many of these unconscious survival strategies defense mechanisms. You have probably used them yourself. Denial, repression, rationalization, projection. Most people experience them without ever noticing. After losing someone they love, some people instinctively expect that person to walk through the front door. After receiving terrible news, others spend hours believing there has been some kind of mistake. Usually, reality slowly returns. The mind accepts what happened. Life continues. But sometimes, the mind refuses to let go. Not for hours, not for days. Sometimes, for years. One of the most powerful of these defenses is denial. Denial isn't simply refusing to believe something. It's the mind protecting itself from an emotional impact too overwhelming to process all at once. It acts like a psychological shock absorber. Without it, some traumatic experiences might completely overwhelm a person's ability to function. But every defense comes with a cost. Because the longer we hide from reality, the harder reality becomes to face. Sometimes the prison protecting us becomes impossible to escape. That terrifying idea fascinated psychologists long before Hollywood ever did. Then, in 2010, a psychological thriller transformed that question into one of cinema's most unforgettable mysteries: Shutter Island. At first glance, the film looks like a detective story, a missing patient, a remote psychiatric hospital, a dangerous investigation, a mystery waiting to be solved. But underneath all of that, the film asks something much darker. What happens when the greatest mystery exists entirely inside your own mind? Unlike many movies that portray mental illness as violence or chaos, Shutter Island explores something much more subtle: the unbearable weight of trauma, the desperate need to escape guilt, and the frightening possibility that the mind can build an entirely different version of reality if reality itself becomes impossible to survive. That doesn't mean the film is a medically accurate depiction of any single disorder. It isn't. Like many psychological thrillers, it combines several real psychological concepts into one dramatic story. But its central question is deeply rooted in psychology. Can the human mind reshape reality to protect itself from unbearable emotional pain? The answer is complicated. Our minds constantly reshape memories, not because memory is unreliable, but because memory is reconstructive. Every time you remember something, your brain rebuilds that memory. Tiny details change. Emotions influence what you remember. Time reshapes the story. Most of these changes are harmless, but trauma changes everything. Trauma doesn't simply leave painful memories behind. Sometimes it changes the way those memories are experienced, the way they are understood, and sometimes the way they are survived. That's why Shutter Island continues to disturb audiences years after its release. Not because of its twist, not because of its setting, not because of the island itself, but because every viewer is forced to confront the same uncomfortable question. If the truth destroyed everything you believed, would you still want to know it? Or would you choose a reality that allowed you to keep living? Perhaps that's the most frightening expression psychology has ever taught us. The human mind is incredibly powerful, powerful enough to help us survive experiences that seem impossible. But sometimes, the very mechanism designed to protect us can become the thing that traps us. Because the strongest prison in the world isn't built from concrete. It isn't surrounded by walls. It doesn't need locked doors. Sometimes, it's built from memories, protected by denial, and guarded by a mind that believes it's saving your life, when in reality, it's keeping you from the truth.